Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to start at 1 minute past 10. So just hang out for just a few.
Liz, I might have to duck out in about 10:40 because I have a job interview at 11 o'clock.
Oh, William, that's exciting. Wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. This will be recorded and I will send a link afterwards. But awesome. Where is your interview?
It's at it's on Zoom through Harvard University for a transportation coordinator position.
Great, great. Well, best of luck to you. Best of luck. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So,
I just figured I'd let you know I may have to duck out early. I didn't know if you had any appointments available for some time within the next week or two, just in case I have to do a face-to-face.
yep, no, I definitely do. So, and actually, for everyone, if you could put your email in the chat so that I can follow up afterwards to set up an appointment with you at the Career Closet, that would be great. And also to send you a link to the recording. So, good morning, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful day here. A little warmer than it has been. My name is Liz Hart. I'm the founder and executive director of Tailored for Success, and I will be taking you through the workshop today. I appreciate you taking your time to attend this workshop, and my goal is to give you some really good tips when you're about to go on an interview in the interview process, maybe just some reminders of things you knew before, but I want to make sure that you are totally ready for your interview. And so I put this presentation together. So just a little bit of information, a background about Tailored for Success in case you're unfamiliar with us. We are 25 years old this year and have been serving job seekers, men and women, since then. And our administrative offices are located in Malden, but we have 4 locations around Greater Boston. And I'm going to go over a little bit the programs and services of Tailor for Success. Just minimize that for a second so that you know the full range of what you're entitled to participate in as a client of Tailor for Success. And when you sign up for the workshop, I immediately put you on our mailing list so that you get our current newsletter, which will have ongoing career tips, information about open positions and open trainings. So thank you for putting your email in the chat. And if you haven't, please make sure you do that. So the first program and service I want to talk about a little bit is our Career Closet program. So the mission of Tailored for Success, just to back up a little bit, is to empower job seekers with the resources that they need to be successful on an interview. And one of the resources that we provide is our Career Closet program, which has become what we're known for because we serve both men and women with free professional business clothing. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about that in a minute. But the Career Closet is open to anyone who is in active job search, and we only serve clients by appointment. And that's so that we can dedicate the time just to you and we don't have multiple people in the closet at once and we maintain your confidentiality. The second program of Tailored for Success is the Reimagine Your Career program. And that's our monthly program of career and professional development workshops that we provide to assist job seekers as they're attempting to enter or re-enter the workplace. And what's great about this program is that it's taught by working professionals. So I reach out to volunteers in different companies around Greater Boston to facilitate these workshops so that you get practical skills and strategies that you can use right away, that's current, what employers are looking for, and different processes that are relevant to today's workplace. So you're getting straight from the horse's mouth, if you will, as to what employers are looking for, what skills are relevant right now, and what it's like actually to work in the companies of the people who are facilitating the workshops. And what's really great is that from time to time, they will put their contact information on their presentation slides so you can follow up with them. And the Reimagine Your Career program, just like the Career Closet, is free and is open to any job seeker. Our third program is our Boots to Suits program, which is a program that is specifically for veterans. And it consists of workshops on topics that are of particular interest to veterans with respect to making the transition from civilian to military career, military to civilian careers, and exploring those issues around transitioning from the military back into civilian workforce. And a lot of the veterans that we work with are recently separated, and they may have been in the military for many years and only really have been dressing in their uniforms for many, many years and are not familiar with what it's like to be in the civilian workforce. So we have workshops on, dressing for today's workplace, but also we provide veterans with free headshots, and they can also visit the Career Closet. So really, really excited about that program, and it's something that we run once a year, and it's a full day program. So if you know any veterans that might be interested, please let me know. So next, I want to go into just a little bit of detail about our career closets. So as you know, one requirement of visiting the career closet is that you attend this workshop, because I want to give you a little bit more information about the career closets and how they work. So we have a partnership with MassHire Metro North Career Center, which allows us to have career closets in Malden, Boston, Woburn, and Cambridge. All of these locations are accessible by public transportation. Woburn's a little bit difficult to get to by public transportation, but there is a bus that goes there. And each closet is fully stocked with women's and men's clothing that you can choose from. And when either I or my assistant reaches out to you after this webinar to set up your appointment, you can choose from one of these four locations, whichever one is most convenient to you. Each one has plenty of clothing, so you don't have to worry about, well, if I go to Woburn, will I have, less of a choice than if I went to Cambridge? It doesn't work that way. Every location is fully stocked, and we make sure that we know what your size is before we serve you so that we can make sure that that closet does have your particular size. And I should also mention that at the end of this webinar, I will shut off the recording so that you can ask questions or you can leave them in the chat, and I can also be monitoring that if you have any questions about the process or in preparing for interviews. So let's move into the meat of the presentation, which is how to interview with confidence. I think that no matter what your background is, that everyone can interview with confidence if you pay attention to certain tips and tricks for interviewing. When I started Tailor for Success, I started it because I'm one of those interesting people who like to interview. It doesn't make me nervous. I like to pass on what I learn to other people. And that's one of the reasons why I started the agency, to be able to help job seekers not get nervous when they have an interview, and just understand that it's just a conversation between two people, and you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. So, when you talk about interviewing with confidence, what I mean is you're wearing clothing and accessories that are appropriate for a professional workplace. That's the first thing. So that you know that you're dressed appropriately, you know that you are going to be not judged on your clothing. Tailor for Success takes away any barriers to dressing professionally, because the focus is on making a good first impression. Surveys say that within the first 7 to 10 seconds, an employer has made a distinction as to whether or not they want to hire you, what your educational level is, whether you will fit into the organization, all on that first impression. So, our job is to make sure that you make a really good first impression. And along with that, we want to make sure that you're prepared for your interview, because preparation is key. If you just try to wing an interview, it probably will not go well. Now, I'm sure we all have heard of people who have gotten interviews, not dressing professionally, not preparing, and so forth. But if you want to get the type of position where they're looking at you as a professional, they're going to pay you as a professional, then following these tips will really help. So, it can't be overemphasized that you never get a second chance to make a good first impression, and that first impression is lasting. And so, how do we do that? How do we interview with confidence? First of all, it's really important to pay attention to detail. Um, all the way down to what you're wearing to your shoes. Interviewers will look at everything, making sure that your clothing is clean, there's no rips, stains, or tears in it. And that's where we come in. All of the clothing that is donated to Tailor for Success is donated through companies that do large clothing drives for us. And all the clothing goes through strict quality control to make sure that the clothing is current, that it's appropriate for an interview, and that it's clean. So there's no worry about picking out clothing from a bin where things are not going to be steamed or on hangers. Everything is on hangers. Our boutiques, our closets all look like boutiques, and it's just like you're shopping in a regular store. We pay attention to detail so that you can pay attention to detail. Confidence is one of the things that you will gain from this. It's also important to do your homework on the company before you go and interview. Find out as much as you can about the company culture, what is happening in the company at the time. You can do a quick Google search to see what issues they're focusing on. And this is important if you want to, because there's always that point in the interview when they say, "Do you have any questions for me?" So this is where doing this homework ahead of time, you can write down some questions that you may want to ask, and the interviewer will be very impressed at the fact that you've done your homework. Um, Again, we've all known people that have not dressed for an interview and gotten a job, but it's always best to play it safe with a crisp professional style. And it's also important to look when you're at an interview to see what other people are wearing to work, to kind of get an idea of the dress code in the company in case they don't tell you. And you can also check the website for details about what the dress code is. And we're going to go through some dress codes in a minute. You want to make sure that you're researching the company, and you're doing some practice interviews. A while back, you had to work with an organization that conducted mock interviews, go to the organization, schedule time, and so forth. But you can do practice interviewing now, in the comfort of your own home, online, and practice as much as you want to. Indeed has some really great programs that you can run that will help you practice interviewing, where you actually put in the type of job that you're interviewing for, and they'll come up with some questions, and then they'll give you some feedback. So I highly encourage that, especially if you're a little bit nervous about interviewing. Again, dressing professionally is important. And also watching your body language when you're in an interview is very important, that you're sitting up straight, that you're looking the interviewer in the eye, that you're not fidgeting, pay attention to where your hands are and so forth. And if the interview is going well, which I hope that it will be, not to get too relaxed in the interview and kind of start slouching and whatever, but always, sit up straight and pay attention to your body language. Make sure that you're not crossing your arms or anything like that, because that can give a negative appearance to the interviewer. So, all of these things that I'm talking about today will be in a handout that I will send after the webinar. So, no worries about missing anything or jotting anything down. It will be sent to you. But these are things that this will help you throughout your interview, throughout your career, no matter what stage you're in. Even if you are already working and want to get a promotion, these type of things can definitely help you. So, what do we wear? Again, I will send a specific handout with do's and don'ts as to what to wear and what not to wear. But I want to just take you through step by step a couple of dress codes that you may find in certain companies. I know a lot of companies have gone business casual, but it's still important to understand what particular dress codes are and what is included in them. So the first one is your basic business professional, business formal, where you think two-piece suits. Think of interviewing in companies like government, finance, law, banking, education. Um, they want you to dress professionally, even if they have a business casual dress code there. I always like to remind people that even if you're seeing other people while you're waiting to be interviewed dressing business casual, you don't work there yet, right? So you are trying to make the best impression possible. And there may be opportunities in government, finance, banking, law, whatever, where you may have to dress business professional in a client meeting or something like that. So it's always good to err on the side of caution, to make sure that when they first see you, that very first impression, they see you dressing business professional so that they know that you know how to do that. A lot of employers don't want to bring this up with individuals they hire. They sort of hope that they understand what business professional is. My job is to make sure that you know exactly what it is and how to dress, and to be dressed that way for your interviews, so that that's not something that's going to cause them pause in terms of hiring you. So the next one is your business casual, which a lot of firms are going to now. Um, Remember that it's polished but comfortable. So think dress pants, skirts, professional dresses, shirts, nice shoes, or even sort of dressed up sneakers, right? So not like sneakers you go running in, but just comfortable shoes that you can get around in. A lot of media marketing firms, nonprofits, education are business casual, but it's not so casual that it is sloppy, right? So it's casual but business, okay? So that if you had to run into a meeting, you would still be dressed professionally, um, and you know how to do that. And I think the easiest way to think of business casual is a pair of dress pants or dark jeans and a really nice shirt or sweater, maybe a jacket if you need it that you can take on and off, depending on the situation, in your work day. But it's still, you feel like you're still dressed appropriately for the workplace. And so the next one is the casual, right? So tech companies and business startups are famous for this. It is still not the casual dressing that you would have if you were running to the grocery store, right? It's dressed down, it's neat, it's individual. A lot of people who are concerned about showing their individuality when they're dressing in the workplace. Casual is perfect for them. um, Casual pants, khakis, skirts, sneakers are fine. It's, I like to remind people that when you're thinking about what to wear on an interview, remember that when you're interviewing, that's what you're going to wear for the interview. It's not going to be something that you're going to be wearing every single day. So even if it's a little uncomfortable because you're not used to wearing suits or you're not used to wearing a jacket or a dress shirt or anything like that, just remember that this is probably not how you're going to be dressing every day. It's just to make that first positive impression on an employer. But that when you get the job is when you can show your individuality a little bit more, wear different accessories that sort of bring out your personality, things like that. But during the interview, it's always better to err on the side of conservative dressing versus sort of trendy dressing and things like that. So I also did not want to leave out video interviews. So video interviews are extremely important, and I know William has a Zoom interview later on, so this will be really pertinent to you. You want to, even if it's a Zoom interview, check your surroundings and dress appropriately. I think that when you are dressing appropriately, especially for a Zoom interview, you you get in the mindset of, okay, this is, even though it's on Zoom, it's still an interview, right? So we're going to be dressed up as opposed to dressing down. Um, know that they're going to see you only from the waist up, which is fine, but if you should have to get up for a particular reason, make sure you're not wearing, your Zoom pants or shorts or something like that. Um, when you're having a Zoom interview, the employer is looking at you to see if you understand the rules around Zoom interviews, right? Not to have distracting things in the background, not to have a lot of noise. If you don't have some place in your house or apartment where you can have a quiet place to conduct your Zoom interview, public libraries have quiet rooms where you can go with a library card and book time in a library conference room to conduct your Zoom interview there. I highly recommend people doing that. I've been seeing a lot more people doing it lately, and I think it's a great idea. It helps you to focus on what you're doing. Um, Sometimes when you're at home, I know when I'm working at home, it's really difficult for me to focus on work stuff. My husband works at home, and he has since COVID, and he does it every day. I don't know how he does it, but for me, I need to be in the office. So, if you're that type of person, you may want to consider going to the library and booking a conference room. Okay, and so remember, regardless of what the dress code is in the company, whether you're interviewing, starting a new job, starting an internship, your appearance is often the first thing that people notice about you. The the quote is, "You can't judge a book by its cover," which I totally agree. However, people do all the time. It's not fair, and I totally get that. But knowing that, you need to dress for it and understand that there are rules for dressing for interviews and that people can be very judgmental when they're hiring, mainly because, they're investing a lot in hiring people. So I think the last estimates were, three to $5,000 to hire a new employee or something. So they're going to be a little judgmental. So just know that. going in. It's nothing against you. It's just the way it is with everyone. But make that positive first impression, and don't let your clothes stand in the way of that. Make an appointment at our career closet. Here is some videos of the types of clothing that we have, the accessories. Again, a reminder that we have career closets in Malden, Boston, Woburn, and Cambridge, all on public transportation. And when you're contacted to make a appointment, pick the one that's closest to you because we have volunteers that go to each location, and we want to make sure it's as convenient for you as possible. If you don't receive an email today or at the very latest tomorrow, send an email at info@tailoredforsuccess.org and say that you attended the Interview 101 webinar and you want to make an appointment in the closet. And don't worry again about the fact that you may or may not think that we have your size. We have tons of sizes. We have great volunteers who are professional image consultants in their day job who can work with you, and also just regular folks like me who can help you pick out a really great outfit. And the other thing that I should mention is that if you don't need help picking out an interview appointment, uh outfit, you can just shop just like any other person. You can just walk around, pick out stuff, try it on, and then you're good to go. But if you need a little help and a little inspiration or a little help picking out what's going to look good on you, or we all have that. Does this look right or does this not look right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you as much or as little as possible. We want you to have your own before and after shot where you're ready for your interview. Dressing for interviews today can cost upwards of $200 for an outfit. There's absolutely no reason for you to do that, where I have thousands of pieces of clothing that have been donated by wonderful people who want to help job seekers get back into the workforce, and not have to go to the expense of buying an interview outfit. So come and visit us, and get your interview outfit, or just come by and just see how it is. If you're a little bit hesitant, that's fine. We can do that too. So at Tailor for Success, our goal is to help you feel the part and dress the part, and to get that interview. My screen has frozen for some reason, but that's pretty much the end of the presentation. I am now going to stop my share, turn off the recording.